thing and go do something else.
Sorry, but look at her. I was like 2 steps away from the speaker.
Praise God, praise God. All right, so let us pray. Father, Lord, we thank you for this day, my Lord Jesus. We thank you for your blessings, my God, your faithfulness, my God, Lord Jesus. Day, my God, you encourage us, you lift us up. Bless everyone here, my God, Father, Lord, and we just praise your name, my God. We thank you for your faithfulness, my God, and bless our faithfulness, Lord. Praise your name. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Hi, baby. Hi. Amen. All right, praise God, praise God. I'd like to thank everybody for braving the weather, coming out. In the name of Jesus. All right. We'll bless everybody online. Pastor, if you could text Mama, let her know the stream is live.
She's a fan.
Okay, she's not watching it.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna be able to see it here.
What are you talking about?
You putting them on video?
It's live.
Is it the other line?
No, I'm saying the
I'll text her just in
you
case.
can't see that on tape.
Oh no, you can't see the TV. They won't be able to see the TV. You'll be able to hear and listen,
Okay.
but you would
Right, you
be
can't
able
see it. You
to.
can't see it.
If anything, maybe we could send the link out to them and stuff. I'll send it to the mass text. So praise God. Thank everybody for coming. In the name of Jesus. We are getting it together here. Dad is still in Puerto Rico. We'll be back probably next week.
Friday.
Friday. Yeah, Friday. We'll be back Friday. So we'll be here for Sunday. And next week you'll be here for class next week.
Are
So
we
amen.
having discipleship with Friday?
Oh, I don't know. We're having discipleship group Friday.
Friday?
Yeah.
What's
Well,
that?
I don't know.
Oh,
We'll talk about it later. So amen. All right. So welcome to the class. In the name of Jesus. So something we're gonna watch. It's not long. It's like 20, 30 minutes, something like that. It's like 30 minutes, I think. But it's definitely a powerful preaching that Mom sent it to me. That I saw it, I was like, you know what? This is just too good to keep to myself. And everybody's got to watch it, you know. And we got to watch it together, and we'll talk about it after. And just be blessed by it. Really take it in, because it's a mind shifter. It's a spirit shifter. You know, it's just in every which way it shifts your mind and your mentality. So I will ask everybody in the back to please come to the front. Come to the front, Jay, please. How can you see the TV from there? Can you see the TV? No, you cannot. Come. Come to the front, please. Be obedient. Come to the front. Come to the front. Thank you. Thank you. So, we're going to come and we're going to watch it together, close together as a team. And watch. It's just powerful. It's powerful, you know what I mean? So let's get started, and we'll make sure we get most of it in there. And we'll talk about it after. But it's very powerful, okay? So I'm going to start right now. Everybody online, I'll try to send you the link so that you can actually watch with us.
To their ancestors have good my eyesight is, I can read my Bible from all the way back there. How many of you over 45 are extremely jealous, right? And again, be strong and courageous. We already said that, God. Remember in verse 6? Yeah, but I'm saying it again because I know how you are. And I know how quickly your courage evaporates. I wish Brad Starup were here. He's on staff with our students, and he asked me a professor to be with you wherever you go. But how far you want to go is up to you.
Wow.
Even if you don't go into the things that I have prepared for you in your life, I'll be with you. You make your bed in hell, I'll be with you. Belly of the fish, I'll be with you. Hide out from Jezebel in a cave, I'll be with you. Murder an Egyptian and run to the desert, I'll be with you in Midian. So the fact that God will be with you, His presence is guaranteed. It is not conditional. But the way that you experience His promises, well, a lot of that is up to you. And so God mentions to Joshua two things. Can I teach a little bit today? He says, don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged. Don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged. I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were laughing at each other about how we insert ourselves in the magnitude of the stories to fit our situations, which are sometimes not that big of a deal. Goliath, and you can lose 15 pounds too. You know what I mean? Like Goliath can be your student loan. He's no longer this life threat. And so I just want to bring it into perspective here that Joshua must have been terrified. You know what? Get up and do it. I got to defeat the Jebusites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Cellulites, those most dreadful enemies of all. And God tells him to do something. He tells him to do something in the face of all of these enemies that he knows he must encounter. God says, be strong and courageous. Then he tells him what not to do. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Something within me rises to Joshua's defense. I can't help it if I feel afraid. You repeat after. All right, now I need you to know that the bigger the destiny, the bigger the enemies. That was helpful for me to realize, because in seasons of my life I was hard on myself, feeling like there was something wrong with me. And it's because God's promises in my life, while they seemed attractive, sometimes aren't so automatic as we think that they should be. In the text that I read to you, God is telling Joshua that the real enemies to your destiny are not the Canaanites. The real enemy of your destiny are not the Hittites. The real enemies of your destinies are not the Jebusites. These are all the people that he would face as he moved forward in faith. But God wants Joshua to know that your real enemy is not another person. Your real enemy is not even a situation. Because if you don't know this, you'll spend your whole life fighting the wrong things. God says, let me tell you what to fight. Fight your fear. Let me tell you what to fight. Fight your discouragement. If you can fight discouragement, you can fulfill your destiny. I'm going to say it over my shoulder to the left side of the room. If you can fight your fear, if you can face your fear, you can move forward into your destiny. And this is important for Joshua to know. See, because Joshua's been around a while, by the time that God is calling him, Bible background, He's already served under Moses. He served under Moses as a commander, and he won some great battles under Moses, and he did some great things under Moses, but now Moses has left the building, and so God is talking Joshua into, now God is very persuasive, okay? So when God tries to talk you into something, as we've already seen, he'll use repetition, but he also knows how to locate the thing that is keeping you from doing what you're called to do. Now the people of God are standing at the edge of something. They are out of Egypt, but they are not yet into Canaan. That's where so many Christians live. I've come out of some things, but I haven't moved into the things. I've made some progress, but I have not fully possessed the promise. I've become aware of God's presence, but I haven't fully accessed his promises. And that's where Joshua stands. And he's been here before. 40 years ago. And Moses was in a position to possess the promised land. And he sent some spies into the land. A lot of people don't know this part of the story, you know. I mean, they may have heard a little bit about it, but they don't know the details. The details that kept them from experiencing their destiny. The details that caused hundreds of thousands of them to die in the desert looking at promises that they could have possessed. The details that keep you from being the dad that God called you to be, doing the things God called you to do, enjoying the life that Christ himself died to give you. I feel a holy burden on this message today because somebody is looking at a promise that you're not living in. And the reason that you're not living in it has nothing to do with creditors, and it has nothing to do with 7th grade teachers, and it doesn't even have anything to do with what you experienced in your past. It is your fear and discouragement. And so Joshua goes into the land 40 years ago. Remember, he was serving under Moses at this time, and he goes into the land and he looks at it, and there's 11 other spies. There's Joshua and Caleb and 10 other spies, and they go into the land and they look around. Of the report that the men brought back, and this is kind of sad to me. It says in Numbers 13, 31, and 32 that the men who had gone up with him said, "We can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are." And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they had explored. And they said, "The land we explored devours those living in it. All the people we saw there are of great size." Let me point out something to you that you may miss on the surface. They were being realistic. Most of what they're saying is true. They are bigger. They are stronger. We can't do it on our own. On our own. But Joshua knew something that those spies had forgotten. We're not on our own. We have a promise. We have a promise of God's presence. And if he's with us, he's more than the world against us. And so these spies are trying to talk Moses out of the very thing that God brought him here for. These spies are trying to... Let me ask you a question. What have you talked yourself out of that God is trying to bring you into? What are you talking yourself out of right now that God is trying to bring you into? In your relationships. What are you talking yourself out of that God is trying to bring you into? In your personal life. And I don't care what category you use. We've all got something that we're talking ourselves out of. The message God gave me today is that you can talk yourself into it just like you've been talking yourself out of it. You can talk yourself into it. One thing I noticed about myself from an early age is that I can be persuasive when I need to be. And so sometimes in school when I would need an extension on a paper, I knew I could usually get one. Because I have this way of talking myself out of things. Do you understand? It comes in handy as a preacher to be persuasive because you have to get people to do things that they need to do that they don't want to do. And so you're trying to tell people to trust God with their finances, and the problem with that is they already feel broke, and so now to tell them that they want to trust God with their finances, and they need to trust God with their finances, they don't want to trust God with their finances because they don't have many finances, but you want to get them to see that the reason you don't have any finances is because you're not trusting God in your finances, and if you trust God in your finances, He'll open your eyes to the supply that He has available for you, and if you see His righteousness, His kingdom, and His righteousness, all these things I'm preaching my watch off my wrist. That's how excited I am about the Word of God. Just hold it, Russell, I don't even want it back. I don't even care what time it is. I might preach through lunch. Because there's some things in your life that you've been talking yourself out of. One time, my senior year of high school, they put me in an AP English class with Eunice Cox. And Eunice Cox was rumored to be a top teacher, but it's no problem for me. I got this because I got the gift. And so I came upon my first book report, and I wasn't going to finish it on time. I knew it would finish on time, but I wasn't worried about it because I could talk my way out of it. I've always talked my way out of things, speeding tickets and all kinds of things I've talked myself out of. Why not this paper too? But Eunice Cox was waiting for me at the door, and she said, I noticed you didn't turn your assignment in. And I smiled real sweet because I got some southern charm. I grew up in a small town. I know how to talk to people. I said, Miss Cox, I said, I was going to talk to you about this. And she said, I don't want to hear it. And she said, Stephen Furtick, you have met your match in Eunice Cox. I said, but Miss Cox, she said, no. I said, but I said, no. And I said, well, what can I do? She said, well, if I were you, I'd try to get a good grade on all the other ones because you're a zero on this one. And you might want to bring up your average. So now I want you to understand something. When God called Moses, Moses was reluctant to do what God had called him to do. And Moses had a million excuses, and so do you. Why you can't be it, why you can't do it, why you can't go forward in it. Come on, how many of you are good at talking yourself out of things? How many of you, by the time I get done preaching sometimes, and you've even had your lunch, you've forgotten what the sermon is even about? Shame on you! I'm kidding. It's how it works. We are so quick to talk ourselves out of things. But when Moses started telling God, I can't speak, and I can't do it, and I'm not eloquent, and I'm not trained, and I'm not equipped, and I'm not able, God said to Moses, you have met your match in Eunice Cox. You have met your match in the Lord your God. Have I not commanded you? I don't even want to hear it out of your mouth. Why you can't? I am the greater one. I am the power within you. I am the one who calls you by name. I know what you got because I put it in you. I know what you don't have because I left. 14:6. That he. Hey! Come on, guys! The land we pass through and explore is exceedingly good. If the Lord is pleased with us, He will lead us into that land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and will give it to us. Only do not rebel. Don't do this. Don't die outside of your destiny. Don't let your fear keep you from your future. Don't be discouraged. Don't rebel. If the Lord is pleased, He'll lead us in the land of flowing milk and honey. Give it to us. Only do not rebel against the Lord. And do not be afraid of the people of the land. And stop forfeiting your future for your fear of people. Stop forfeiting your future for your fear of failure. You hear me? Stop forfeiting your future because of what they might think about you. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. I mean, you got to believe down deep in your soul that God is with me Jesus into it. You know why? Because nobody can talk you into your destiny but you. Watch your neighbor say, talk yourself into it. Talk yourself into it. It is interesting that when God speaks to Joshua, he tells him what to do. Lead these people to inherit the land. Now the problem with a lot of us is that we have shrunk our lives down to the size of our own personal interest. We don't have anything bigger than us worth fighting for. So it doesn't take much to discourage us. If I didn't preach every time I don't feel like preaching, you would hear from me 3 times a year. You know how I preach every week? I talk myself into it. And I tell myself, there's somebody coming to church today who's suicidal. There's somebody coming to church today whose kid is on drugs. There's somebody coming to church today that has been told all their life they're worthless. And you get to tell them God loves them. And maybe you could smile at them and make them feel through your countenance that God has not forgotten them, that he knows them by name. But by the time I stop talking to myself, I'm ready to talk to you. Now we can preach. Now we can do it. Now we can go. But see, you've got to talk yourself into your purpose. I have a purpose. I don't need to ask God to give me a purpose. I have a purpose. You have a purpose. To glorify God. To be transformed into the image of Christ. To be conformed into the image of Christ. It's not that you don't have a purpose. It's that every time God tries to bring you into it, you talk yourself out of it. And so he says, this is not just about you, Joshua. There are people depending on you. Your destiny is connected to something much bigger than you. I told you I have a lot of scripture today. Isn't that kind of what you came for, though? Okay. In Deuteronomy, the room before Moses died and climbed up on Mount Nebo, and he died, and God didn't let the Israelites find his body because he knew that if they found his body, they would continue to worship his bones. Because sometimes the only way for God to get you to move past something in your life is completely take it away. But before he died, he called the nation together. He said, and he gave a little speech, he gave a little talk, he gave a little, he said, I'm not going into the land, but you are. Joshua's going to lead you. He pulls Joshua beside him, and he tells him, be strong and courageous. For you must go with this people and the Lord swore to their ancestors to give them, and you must divide it among them as their inheritance. Not you may, but you must. Not you should, but you must. And you must do it. And so when God speaks to Joshua after the death of Moses, Joshua has heard this speech before. It's not his first time hearing it. But when God gives the speech, he adds one thing that Moses left out. See, Moses told him what to do. Told him why to do it. God showed Joshua how. Would you like to know how to keep yourself encouraged? Because you need to know. They aren't always going to text you encouragement when you need it. encourage myself. If you encourage me, I appreciate it. If you're nice to me, I appreciate it. If you say kind things to me, that's cool. But I need you to know that even if you don't, if you get too busy, or if you forget about me, or if you don't know what to say to me, I need you to know I can encourage myself. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. I learned to encourage myself because I can't always count on the text, and I can't always count on a hug, and I can't always count on shouts of joy. You know, right before this, he said, my tears have been my food day and night. And he's in this cycle. But he did something in verse 5. It's kind of a strange technique, and if you do this, people might think that you're crazy. But if you don't do it, you really will be crazy. So you can decide whether you want people to think you're crazy or whether you really want to be crazy. Because he's been listening to himself for 4 verses. He's been listening to his tears. He's been listening to his trials. He's been listening to his past. But in verse 5, he totally shifts. And instead of listening to himself, he starts preaching to himself. It's very powerful. Why, my soul, are you so downcast? What? Did you see the shit? He's like, I'm done with this. If I wake up in the morning and ask myself how you feel, I'm going to be 50-50 at best. So I'm going to wake up in the morning and tell myself, this will change your life, and tell myself, today we're going to be blessed. Today we're going to be favored. Today we're going to be a blessing. Today we're going to take it down. Today we're going to encourage somebody else. Today we're going to see the Lord in the land of the living. Today, why are you so downcast, oh my soul? Why so disturbed in me? And then he does something very powerful. He puts himself in his place. Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise him. Sometimes you gotta put yourself in your place. Sometimes you gotta make discouragement bow its knee in the presence of God, and fear must bow to faith in the presence of God. Somebody give him a praise right now. Hey, John. Here's how you do it. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. There's a land I'm taking you to. There's a but you're going to have to talk yourself into it.
Jesus.
Meditate on the law day and night. The law was 5 books of the Bible that we have now. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Torah. And it was the Bible that Joshua had. God said, your life will follow the direction of your conversation, which comes from your conversation. So, not just your conversations with others, but your conversation with yourself. So keep this book of the law on your lips. Not just in your mind, on your lips. The Hebrew word for meditate is haggah, and it means to mutter. Because there was a Hebrew tradition that while they studied the text and reflected upon it, they would mutter. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. See, it's not enough to read the Bible. You have to rehearse the Bible. Come on, gas detectives. It is not enough for you to hear this word. It is not enough for you to listen to me speak. If you are going to live in that, what place? I'm not going to the land of Canaan. No. But God promised you his peace. if you are going to have this peace in your life, you're going to have to talk yourself into peace. God has given you His courage. If you are going to live in courage and fulfill your purpose, you're going to have to talk yourself into your purpose. Keep it on your lips. So what you need, and I'm going to get very practical now, because what good is all this screaming and shouting if the moment it leaves my lips, it leaves your heart? The way that you keep it is you need a phrase to fight with. You hear me? Your mind is always going to be murmuring and muttering. Have you noticed that? Okay? It's always going to be doing it. So what you want to do is take control of the conversation by the Spirit of God.
That's right.
And the way you do that, you need a phrase to fight the devil with. Here's my current phrase to fight the devil with. This is how I fight fear. Because I have a lot of fear. I know I'm not supposed to. I know I'm the pastor of the church. But I get scared sometimes. Scared of big stuff and scared of stupid stuff. But I have learned that if I'm in a state of fear, the reason I'm there is because I talk to myself. And if I talk to myself, then I can talk myself. There are really only two fears. They all fall under these categories. It's the fear of falling short and the fear of running out. Now, any fear you have in your life falls into one of those two categories. If you're scared to lose a relationship, it's because you're afraid of falling short in someone's eyes, or you're afraid of running out of love. And if they're not there, you won't have love. Every fear that you've ever had in your life falls under those two categories. Fear that I will fall short or that I will not be enough, and fear that I will run out, that I will not have enough. So since I know that the key to me persevering in courage and in strength and in purpose is to fight back. Somebody say fight back. You are not going to take the land automatically, and you're not going to live in peace and purpose automatically. So I've got a phrase that I do, and it's 4 syllables on the front, and it's 4 syllables on the back. And I did it in 4 because you can breathe in 4 times and breathe out 4 times. So I do it all the time. And the devil doesn't like it. He really, really hates it. So I'm doing it more and more because I like to make him mad. And I like to fight back. I like to let him know he can't just push me around and keep me stuck in the wilderness. And he's not going to have my destiny. And he's not going to disrupt God's dream for my life with discouragement. And anytime he rolls up on me and tries to make my soul downcast, I got something for him because it's trained my fingers for war and my hands for battle. And he will not keep me out of the land God's promised. He will not keep me out of the purpose. I am going to raise my kids to love God. I am going to serve God in my generation. I am going to complete the calling that God has placed on my life. I am going to go forward in Jesus' name. I am going to build the kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. I am going to see it come to pass. So I just do this. I say, Christ is in me. That's the first half. I am enough. Why don't you try it? You know, if you sit in a restaurant and someone says, here, taste this, taste this, taste this. You try it. Say, Christ is in me. I am enough. Tell it to your neighbor. Tell him, Christ is in you. You are enough. I love people who absolutely refuse to participate with anything you do in church. Do they have a secret meeting before church? Where does this happen in the lobby? When he says, touch your neighbor, do nothing. It's okay, it's okay. Let's go for 97% participation, okay? I think we're about 80. Touch your neighbor, say, Christ is in you. You are enough. Now you gotta get it in that order, because if you start with you are enough, it's just a matter of time before you find out that is just not true. They're stronger than we are. Yeah, but didn't you hear the verse, devil? Christ is in me. I am enough. Let's take the volume up a little bit. Christ is in me. That fear that you have, look at it and say, Christ is in me. I am enough. Think about what was discouraging you last night, robbing you of your sleep, robbing you of your joy, robbing you of your peace, robbing you of your purpose, and shout it out loud, say, Christ is in me. I am enough. Now break it down. around shouting like that. It's going to cause some trouble for you at your job. So God, keep it on your lips as the background, as the soundtrack, and take it into any situation that you face. I love it because God at once gives him a big destiny. How many of you believe that God has a destiny for you? How many of you want to believe that God has a destiny for you? It's kind of hard sometimes because I thought I'd be there by now and I'm not there by now. Well, he gives him a big destiny, but he gives him a small direction. He said, for you to fulfill your destiny, you're going to have to talk yourself into it. Did you get blessed by this word at all today? I was flying into Charlotte one time and I started to tell you the story how I was discouraged and afraid. And while we were landing, I opened my window and I had been sleeping and he was and I believe that he desires me to live in peace as I fulfill that purpose and possess that promise. And so we were landing, and it was like a scene out of Thomas Kinkade. You know what I'm saying? Do you know that guy, the guy who paints all the stuff? It was like the city of Charlotte was bathed in the orange sunset, and orange was our church color, and it's also the color of God's team, the Clemson Tigers. And so these two things served to confirm to me that God was speaking. I just felt something. I got my notebook out that I had, and I just wrote down just fast as I could write the impressions that I was receiving as we were landing in Charlotte. And it started with this idea, this is your city. I've given it to you for influence. Not that it isn't other people's city too, but just that God had called me here. You made the right decision. You did it. And I want to get, and it was about a page and a half of stuff that I wrote down. And a couple days later, I read it to our team. It was very encouraging, very inspiring. The reason I told you that story is because I have landed in Charlotte many times since then. Almost every time I'm landing, I open my window, just in case. That can happen again. You know what? It's never happened like that again, ever. Ever. I mean, I've even put my notebook out, got my pen ready, and what I see is buildings. But see, You can't live in a place where you're depending on God to always give you a sunset and a poem. And the sense I get from the Lord is, I've already spoken my promise to you. Now, you've got to speak it to yourself. There are some promises in your life that you have not yet possessed. And you're waiting on somebody, or you're waiting on God, or you're waiting on a circumstance to align. It's not going to happen that way. If you are going to experience the peace of God, it won't be because God gives it to you. He's already given you peace. In John 14:27, when Jesus, like Moses, was preparing his followers for his departure and tells coming, not only to live with them, but to live in them. God told Joshua, I'm with you, but God tells you something even better. He says, I'm in you. Christ is in me, and I'm more than enough. And he tells his followers, peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I don't give like the world gives. Don't let your hearts be troubled. Don't let them be afraid. Do you see it? Do you see it? Don't let your heart be troubled. Don't let it be afraid. Why are you so downcast? Stop listening to your situation and start preaching to your situation. In the name of the Lord, dry bones will live. In the name of the Lord, the promise will come to pass. So Jesus said, I have given you my peace. Now talk yourself into it. Day and night, the refrain of my heart. You need a phrase to fight the devil with. I'm not afraid anymore. I feel fear, but I'm not afraid. He didn't say I couldn't feel it. He just said I had to face it. He didn't say that the fear wouldn't come upon me. He just said that it shouldn't define me. Come on, I'm preaching to somebody. You've been stuck. You've been afraid. You've been terrified. You've been worrying about it. You've been stressed. But lift your hands in the presence of the Lord and say, Christ is in me. I am enough. Say it, Christ is in me. I am enough. One more time. God said it 3 times to Joshua. I want you to say it 3 times to Christ is in me. I am enough. Now clap your hands and thank God. Clap your hands and praise God. Open your mouth and speak praise, speak peace. I will yet praise Him, my Lord and my God.
Woo! Crazy, right?
Woo!
That's to get people's opinion how they feel.
All right. Praise God.
What do you think? What do you think?
Check. All right, hallelujah. Christ is in me.
Yes, I am enough.
Christ is in me.
I am enough.
I am enough. Huh? Woo! Come on, who like that preacher? Let's give a hand clap for the word. Thank you, Jesus. You know, I was just like, I don't like to play video, long, because we all come here for class. But that's just something that you guys needed to see. Mom sent it to me. I was like, man, you know what? I was like, Lord, I know we're supposed to be reviewing this, but the material, but I was like, you know what? This is more important. To have you be encouraged. The pastor, he plowed the ground. Let me plant the seed for you. Since he broke the ground for me, let me plant the seed for you. There's a point in time, you ever watch the superhero movies? There's a point in time that the superhero stops running. He stops running and starts believing. There's a point in time, and that's this time here. For us now, the true disciples of Christ. Who's a disciple of Christ? Let's see the hands. Amen. It's the point in time where you stop running from the enemy. You stop running from your doubts. You stop running from all of it that's chasing you away, and you turn around and you face them because you believe who Christ says you believe. The moment you believe, God says, let's do it. He backs you up. The moment you stop being afraid, He backs you up. The moment you stop doubting, He backs you up. That's when power comes to you. Now's the time you stop running. If you don't have the right mindset, the right spirit, the right discipline to be here, you can show up to class. Because to bring change, to push back the darkness, to be rich in every which way you can think possible. But it doesn't come if you have fear and doubt. It doesn't come if you don't have discipline of body, mind, and soul, because that hunger comes to know what God has for you. The hunger is there to produce the power of God to flow through you. And you come, and you come, and you come, and you read your word, you pray, you do whatever you need to do to be the best at whatever God has for you. But just to be the best disciple you can be. Doesn't depend on your pastor, doesn't depend on your leader, doesn't depend on your parents, it doesn't depend on anybody but yourself. To have the drive to be what God wants you to be, what He says you are. The Word of God, in essence, is just telling you who God says He's made you to be. In the very basic form of that He's chosen you as the beautiful creation vessel to represent Him on this earth and come in power and authority and kick some butt. Just plain and simple. You gotta have the fire in your stomach, in your heart to do it. To be the best. No matter if you're in school. To be and watch God move. He talked about that. God comes when we come. When we show up. When we make the decision. God, I'm going to leap forward. Not walk. Not step into it. It is the point where you're going to jump off the cliff and God is on the other side and you're depending on Him that He will catch you and pull you over, so you jump and you stretch out your hand and God catches you. No safety net, no nothing. But God says, trust me, I'll catch you. It's funny because you know what? Every time that I've bet it, you know, I was going to say bet, but I'm going to say decided to step out in faith and just jump to do my own thing and whatever it may be. And whenever I feel like I'm stuck at work or whatever it may be, I'm like, you know what, God? I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing it wrong. I'm not taking care of your business. I let the things of life distract me from taking care of your business. Like I should have. Because some people thinking in my own, I show up to church, I show up to class, I pay my tithes, I pay all of this, blah, blah. It's not enough. You want more from God, right? I know I want more. You got to give more. And that takes a lot of times forsaking everything else that you think you should be doing and just go and do the things of God. You sit and you listen however long you have to listen. You do whatever reading you need to do and homework, whatever it may be. Even on your own time, trying to discover God. Talk to me, move in me, break through with me. You know, I was like, Lord, is we can learn everything we can learn, and it will never, nothing ever be good enough if you're not taking it to heart. It doesn't work. You got to decide for yourself. Like you said, you got to talk yourself into it. You got to talk yourself into it every day and remind yourself, because it says, I've been guilty of it too. You've heard a good message, but as soon as you step out the door, you forgot it. Ooh, it's gone. Man, every day it is a blessing of signs and wonders and miracles that can happen in your walk. Talked about it last week. If the signs, these signs follow those who believe. And what signs? You know? The signs are signs, wonders, and miracles. Things that proclaim the glory and the goodness and the righteousness of God. Those type of signs. Things that proclaim the glory, the righteousness, and the goodness of God. Those are the type of signs. You are chosen to bring God's righteousness, His glory, His justice, His love to the world. You gotta have that passion. And you know what's so tough? It's just to spark a fire. Isn't it? It's tough to spark a fire. You gotta take two rocks and you're like, see people. Two rocks, the hardest things on earth, right? Like, trying to spark a fire. But when the fire gets going, you gotta feed it until it gets big enough, until it sustains itself. Man, because you just don't spark a fire and it goes ablaze.
Even then you can't discard it.
You gotta keep feeding it. You gotta keep feeding it. Making sure it don't go out. Because you know what? There's darkness on the other side of that. And it comes up quick. And the warmth of the fire starts to go away. And you're like, whoa, whoa. You gotta spark up that fire. Have a vision for your life. Spark the dream again. You know? Or spark a new dream that God gives to you. Spark it up. Because in this time, God is, just like what I'm saying, we gotta knock on the doors that people say only God did that. That God has opened those big doors. Not that man did it, but God did it. And we did it in faith and we did it together. It's a time right now where the hero, you, make the decision to stop running. No matter what goes on in the church, or no matter if this person comes out of their face, or you get offended here, or you get offended there, or whatever it may be, or we don't got this, we don't got that, forget all of that. It is the time we're running together. You can't do it by yourself. We can't do it by ourselves. We're doing it together as a body. And that requires discipline. That requires dedication. That requires the same mindset. That requires a spark and a hunger to see God's signs and wonders and miracles. I always hate it. I hate it and I love it, but I hate that. I'm like, man, I see over there in Africa or these other countries, or even down in Florida, people like, signs and wonders and miracles happen over here. What about over here? This is our city, our town, our sector that God has commanded us to take care of. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm like, man, you know what? I was like, that video I was like, God. I was like, Lord, oh. It just changed the mindset. Be like, oh, God. You know, I was talking with Christina yesterday. I was like, man, Lord, babe, we're gonna do something. We gotta leap out of faith and do it. All right? And it's funny because, you know, as soon as we made the decision, a blessing came through for us. That same day. I was like, man, Lord, you know what? I noticed for myself, every time I start to take care of God's business, we're learning good stuff. We're learning good stuff. That's how you do it. And on top of which, your own little study time, your own prayer time, your own reading the Word. And you keep the Word on your lips. In the name of Jesus, your word is true. Do it. This is the time you start being the hero that God's called you to be. You stop running from your fears and your doubts and you're not sure. You stand up in faith. You show people. And not by talk, and not by whatever it may be, but just that He testifies because of the power that flows through us. Just walking by. people are just like bowled over because of the discipline of our lives. It comes from the discipline of our lives. Physically, mentally, spiritually. You can't leave none of it out. You can't leave none of it out. Physically, you gotta get it together if you're not together. You know? Mentally. Material for class. It's plain and simple. You start being that hero by reading and studying the material for class. Whatever classes we give it. And as you read your own word and your own prayer time, it's so hard for people just to be dedicated to class. You know? And we talked about, only 2 people show up. Mom was like, you know what? He was like, you know what? No, we're just going to give the class. We're not going to have the class hostage to any one person's. You're either here with your own desire to be powerful in God, or you're not here at all. Because it makes no sense. It's just crazy. Call yourself a Christian, but you're not fully committed. You're not fully sold out. Some people, no, I'm sold out. Do you make it something like, no, I don't. You're not sold out then. You're not committed. Not only to class, but to the church where God has planted you. You're not committed. So how do you expect to have the blessings? God says, be committed. He brought to my mind that lukewarmness. People think, oh, lukewarmness is just when I go to church, but I go out. You know, I do my little crunches with the baby sitting on top of me. The girl sitting the other day. Get in here. Try to get it together. But God says all areas of discipline, of mental, physical, and spiritual state need to be aligned. It's a discipline. It's nagging at me every day. My Lord, okay? And it just lit my heart and my spirit on fire when I Forget just good. Forget best. We're talking top level. Top level. That's what we're pushing to. Top level. Not lower. Because you know why? That's what you want. Who doesn't want it? Who wants it? Who wants it? Raise your hand. Who wants it? That's what you're doing. Have a vision and lead with power and authority. Lead. Oh, some people ain't going to catch all the promises that God's set up for them. Because why? Fear, doubt, whatever it may be. Anger, frustration, worry, all these things. Insecurity. Not enough knowledge. Doesn't matter. God says, step out. I'll meet you there. Stop being afraid. The one verse you know, then repeat it over and over again, like he said. Repeat it over and over again. Not enough to read the word, you must rehearse it. To be able to spit it back out. To people and to yourself. You look at yourself in the mirror, like, you know what? You're beautiful in the name of Jesus and powerful in the name of God. Chosen. Do it. Set up the little nuts all over the place. Now is your time to be the hero. Stop running. Turn around and face the enemy. Put everything into order. Have power and authority. In class or whatever, you know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like I'm like the only one. Because I see faces sometimes like this. Or they're looking down. I don't know, Lord, I don't know. Am I the only one? But it blessed me. I was like, you know what, God? Sometimes you just gotta tilt, you know, in battle, when people like say retreat, run away. No, tilt is like you do something else that the enemy doesn't expect you to do. That's when you win the day. That's when you realize where God is, how He's with you. That's what He said, Joshua, don't be afraid. And He said it to him again, don't be afraid. And another verse says, don't be afraid. Don't doubt. A double-minded person does not inherit the kingdom of God. Oh my God. Just be bold. Be bold. In my might, in who you are. It says, Christ is in. I am enough.
Yes.
You are enough. Lord, whew, Lord Jesus, bless us all here today. Bless us, my God. I was like, I was like, wow, man, God, just fire. Break us out, shake us off, break the mold, give us vision, give us laid back, cool people. That means God got a lot of fire under our butts. That's the only bad thing about that. Is that God got a lot of fire under our butts. It's only when God says, hey, I'm banging my head up against something for so long. Says, you're not doing what I've told you to do. You're not taking care of my business. Take care of it.
I'm raising you to be a butt kicker, and I go kick.
Exactly. He's like, come on.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name. Kick some butt, man. That's the coach when he's telling you, get out there, I want you to kick some butt.
That's right.
And get your own one first.
Right. He's like, let's go.
Put your foot on the line first.
You know? Just stop wasting my time. Some coaches, they just trash the locker room. They'll stop working out. How many times we've run through this? Don't be afraid. You see the wall, run through it. That break. We're setting a standard here today, my God, for our discipline, our dedication, our hearts towards you, my God, and the fire to believe, my God.